Hello everybody, my name is Nadhira. I am the founder of Conscious Women in Business and I'm the creator of Prioritise to Pivot. And I want to ask you some questions so you can figure out if you're in the right place, right? So if you've been a woman who has gone through a life change, like maybe you went from, being married with no kids to suddenly having young kids and now your career is in flux, or you have gone through a major shift in your thinking and your priorities have shifted, and something fundamentally, like part of you has changed. And yet, when you look at your life, the structure of your life has been set up to support the old you, and none of that has translated in who you are now, how you think now, and something doesn't fit, right? So, how could this be playing out? For one, because you haven't truly stopped and reflected and made the space to figure out who you really are on the inside, like on a soul level, on an energetic level, like who are you meant to be in this world and what is your highest point of contribution, you end up saying yes to things that typically you probably need to say no to. You might be overcommitted and not have enough time and white space for yourself, so you can just sit and be guided by your intuition as to where you need to go next, what you need to be doing, who you need to be talking to. And perhaps you have very little white space, so that connection with your intuition, that higher part of you, hasn't quite had the space to develop. So you end up feeling really guilty when space does open up for you and you don't really take advantage of the opportunity when you do have time with yourself. You might be scrolling social media, or you might decide to go take a trip to the shops and go in and out of Kmart or Big W and Aldi and come out with all these things that really you didn't even meant to consciously spend money on. All of these things are a symptom of not knowing what your priorities are. And the fact that you have gone through a shift in your personal life where some health challenge has come through, or life didn't quite pan out the way that you had planned, and this loss of control has also resulted in kind of like an identity crisis of like, if I'm not this, then who am I? Well, you're in the right place. My name's Nadhira. I've been a life and business coach for 10 plus years, and I also specialize in really being able to intuitively listen for where you need to go next and what you're communicating outwards, right? Even if you can't quite pick it. And something that I really want to give women space to do is to be able to reflect on where life wants to take them next, but also reflect back to them who they really are, because it's really hard to figure that out in a vacuum. You could be praying in the middle of the night, on your prayer mat, or however you pray and ask for guidance from above, and say, God, just show me a sign, give me a little breadcrumb. But when the breadcrumb comes, you overthink it, or you're not spontaneous enough to follow it. So there's all the reflection and the praying and all of that, but no action, right? And then without that feedback loop completing on itself, like actually having the courage and the decisiveness to take the action and see what comes out, you never get to really experience what the direction is that your life needs to go in, because you'll stay stuck in that loop of thinking and dreaming about it. Oh, maybe this and maybe that. And you end up not really moving your life forward. There could be a lot of busyness in your life, saying yes to commitments and going out maybe to little birthday parties here and there, whatever it is that you fill your time up with, but it's not like the highest value and the highest contribution that you're making to your family, yourself, or the planet. And there's people who are waiting for your gift. There's people who are waiting for you to step into your purpose and start living that now. And your pivot point, this place that you're in this crucial energetic state to make an amazing transformation in your life, if you don't use that time, it's like you'll never get it back in the way that it is right now, the way life's recalibrating itself to get you to your next piece, so you can have another vantage point to your purpose. If this is you and what I'm saying is deeply resonating, I invite you to book a call with me. It's a no obligation, complimentary call for us to really deeply look at like what is in the way of you really stepping in to this pivot point in your life so that you can recognize what your priorities are and create the changes that are necessary for you to be fully in, contributing to you, your family, and the wider community and the world by you actually being true to who you are. So I am also running a cycle of Prioritise to Pivot, which is a group intensive, a 3-week process that I take women through in a small group, and it's a beautiful, healing, magical container. And if you want to find out more about that, I will share about it in the call if I feel like it may be of service to you. Can't wait to see you on the other side.